house stays in this house. My mama always told me tall tales about faith. When everything goes wrong and your walls start crumbling around you, believing is the one thing you should never let go of. Loyalty has been passed down to every woman in my family, so bitch is more like a pet name. I know I'll respond whenever he calls. He calls me slut, calls me whore, put a ring on my finger and called me his, so I never forget who I belong to. But when he calls too loudly, your noise complaint is called in, bringing white knights to my doorstep. But don't they know chasing sirens never ends well for heroes? Is there anything wrong?
The words gallop down my tongue like war-bred horses, driven by the false hope that a cop like me can help her. See, the academy never taught me how to look at a woman like her. Battered and bruised from the breach of his palms, and have the nerve to stand here, posing as a hero, knowing that these policies have handcuffed the young man in me who wants nothing more than to swoop down and make everything okay, like the champion they said I'd be, but the law leaves me no room to be known.
I walk away, but in my experience, that shit doesn't work. Turning the other cheek only gets you crucified. You gotta be tough to survive. This is not a fairy tale. My happy ending abandoned me years ago when the salt in my eyes were too swollen to see hope clearly.
She's clearly in trouble. I can see everything from here, the rain clouds growing in the back of her eyes, the bloody knuckles he wears like trophies after winning his manhood, reminding me of all the times I've had to watch what a man can do.
These stories are becoming way too familiar to me. The accounts of abusive relationships tuck me in every night, replacing bedtime stories, baby. Don't ever trust an older man. They prey on the minds of the weak. Do you remember Regina? How he beat her, left her for dead in the parking lot of Allen's funeral home.
All I can do is just stand here, frozen into stone by the fact that none of it will put him away, that it's not the proof I need. Strong enough to bridge the gap between conjecture and crime, as if this time the shield will protect her from the man in front of her, instead of making her hate the man wearing it. All this blue can't hide the bleached pigment that stained her faith in me.
Even if they arrested him, his hatred would slowly dissolve on his tongue, and he would only take betrayal. I've seen this before. They don't come back with flowers and apologies. They return with a gun and no second thought, so I'll never run out of second chances. I imagine that love is intricately folded in the center of his palm, secured in his fist, leaving passion marks all over. Falling into his arms was much easier than fighting his grip to let go.
I clutch at my badge, wishing it would conjure up something to keep her off this list of names I see every day. Ink still wet with the howl of unanswered cries, and the faces I will never forget, like
Dia. Had her nose broken so many times the doctors couldn't repair it.
There wasn't enough evidence to convict her.
Lachey, dragged out of her car and beaten like you did, Rodney King.
No one came forward to testify.
Nicole, shot in the head in front of her 5-year-old son.
He shot himself too.
Monica, stabbed 150 times, cut out her genitals and tried to decapitate her.
I didn't get the call in time.
What about Sonia? What about Crystal? What about Teresa and Kathy?
I don't know.
What about her mother? There was plenty of time to rescue her. Don't come over here questioning me, pretending to be my savior. This isn't even about tonight. It's clear that this was hopeless before he walked in.
It's about the yesterdays that have stripped her trust in this uniform.
And the uncertainty of tomorrow.
It's about these moments when evil seems to have won.
And you realize happy ever afters were written for reality.
If I walk away, I'll never see her again. But I'll have to bury others like her.
If I close this door, I may wake up to this nightmare, or I may not wake up at all. And at this point, I'm not sure which is worse.